live in stereo. Live in stereo.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, hello, welcome back to another RawCast with Raw Tactics, True Blue, bringing you all the latest and greatest gaming news, updates, coverage, whatever's going on, we're going to talk about it. Today we got a very special show indeed. We got some stuff that I don't think a lot of you are aware of. Um, but of course, starting out Blue, hope you're doing better. I know you were down sick there for a little bit. How you feeling? What you been up to?
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm feeling a lot better. You might notice my voice is a bit raspy. I've had the throat infection from hell. I think I've been face hugged, and it's quite ironic that you were watching Alien Romulus the other night there, because I felt like I was impregnated, man. It was awful. But yeah,
Dear Lord.
sorry. I'll start whining. And I'll start with my little intro, the usual. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're all well. Thanks for tuning into the RawCast, and hopefully we'll be able to entertain you for the next hour or so, or however long we'll chat for anyway. But yeah, I'm doing okay.
Sweet. You been able to play anything lately?
No, I have not. I have all I've done is like in regards to sort of gaming or that, I've been watching stuff on YouTube because yeah, I have not been in a good state. Again, I'm not going to whine. But yeah, it was bad. I was really bad. Yeah, you can probably hear my raspy tones. But yeah, I've just been watching stuff on YouTube and just following a bit of gaming here and there. I did download one game that I saw on the Steam sale. Um, I'm just looking now. It's called excuse me, it's called Stranded Alien Dawn. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but basically it's a game, it's a sort of strategy game where you crash land on an alien planet and you have to um, build a colony up with like a group of survivors, keep them happy and stuff like that. I think it's sort of Fallout sim settlements, but on an alien planet. That's what you're kind of doing. I've not played it yet. I've been obviously watching stuff on YouTube and getting little tips on how to start it and how to sort of play and progress in the game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting involved in that. But other than that, I've not been playing anything, mate. So sorry about that. This section's going to be a bit dead.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm glad you're feeling a bit better at least.
Yeah, thanks.
Uh, I mean, you guys pretty much already know what's been going on over here. We finally hit 1K. Round of applause for you guys. Like, thank you for making this happen. That is incredible. I didn't think we were actually gonna do it by the end of October, but y'all did it a few days early. Thank you for that. During that
1K,
special,
1K, boys.
yes, sir. We getting started, man. Feeling like a real YouTuber now.
Those adverts are starting to piss me off, though.
I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become a tactician and support the channel, I can take down ads. No, but we played Conker's Bad Fur Day. We had a complete crap show. Played Conker's Bad Fur Day, took on the Great Mighty Pooh. We played Duke Nukem Forever. The beginning opening sequence of that, you get to utilize a latrine and grab something out of one of the toilets and throw it at people.
I'm
And then
genuinely starting to get worried about you, mate. So there's a lot of poo
hey, they
stuff
did
going
it,
on.
man. They did it.
Who are you blaming? You blaming chat?
Hey, never mind. Next topic.
Yeah.
We've been playing that Resident Evil 4, getting back into Cyberpunk. I started downloading Red Dead Redemption 2 Undead Nightmare. Of course, Rockstar won't give it to us. We'll get on to that in a moment, but the community, the modders, of course, the people we rely on to keep all these games alive, gave us Undead Nightmare Part 2 in Red Dead Redemption 2. Phenomenal. I was having a lot of crashing issues, but I actually delve into it, and it seems like it's a common issue with Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC port. There's actually some hidden settings that you have to kind of dive into and change up a couple INI file settings. But anyway, I got that all sorted out. We should be streaming some more Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare Part 2 after this stream today. Oh crap, where'd it go? Oh crap. Okay, carrying on with Red Dead Redemption. Well, you know what? My bad. I just got completely off task. Speaking of games, I got some freebies for you guys. We're gonna run through these just real fast. Ghost Warrior Tokyo, that is currently free on Epic Games right now. Witch-It, it's like a hide and seek style game that is also free on Epic. Nothing too crazy there. However, Steam has a pretty solid one. This is actually a Doom 2 mod. They got a full Steam page release, got a bit of a remaster. It's called Unloved. It's currently 100% off on Steam. I'm going to drop a link in the live chat right now if you guys want to check that out.
Excuse me, I was going to say you can't argue with a Doom 2 mod.
Yeah. It's so raw. Real quick, shout out to everyone in chat right now. Thank you, Notification Squad, Mr. Howell in the building. We got Steady Rolling, Mr. Beat, anybody else lurking in the shadow right now. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for everybody. Hello guys, hello in chat, and like always, drop in any like questions or suggestions, and we'll try and answer them as soon as we can.
For sure. The last few free games, Amazon Prime currently giving away a Plague Tale Innocence. We played that here on the channel. You guys seem to really enjoy that. If you did and you want to pick it up, right now is the time. It is a GOG version of the game as well, so no DRM issues, no nonsense over there. They also have Scorn, Killing Floor 2, a really fun first-person shooter zombie game. If you're into that type of thing, definitely give that a shot if you haven't already. And then a multitude of other like smaller titles are currently available. Doom Eternal is still free. BioShock Remastered is still up and available. Gargoyles Remastered. Pumpkin Jack, Tomb Raider Legend, like Borderlands 2 pre-sequel, Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands. They have a lot right now. Check out Prime Gaming if you haven't already. But moving on from that, we were briefly touching Red Dead Redemption. It just got its PC port after 14 years of being out on console. They re-released it on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series already. But 14 years later, PC finally gets it. Blue, you want to delve into that for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, like Rob was saying, we're going to be talking about the PC port of Red Dead Redemption. So, you know, if you've not played Red Dead Redemption, I don't know, there must be something wrong with you. Or if you've not heard of it, you must have been living in a cave somewhere in a vault. But yeah, it's one of those games that fans have been dying to see on PC, like especially because of, you know, the immense modding potential, the graphical upgrades that you can have, and just the whole idea of being able to find it on play it on hardware, should I say, that could push it a wee bit further. But road to get there has been a bit bumpy, to say the least. So I'd say the first thing I want to talk about with the Red Dead PC is how long it took. Like Ross said, I mean, when did the game release? And was it 2010? Was it something like that? I think it was.
Oh crap, let
Yeah,
me pull it back up.
yeah, 2010, a whole 13 years ago, 13, 14 years ago. Yeah, sorry. But the game originally dropped 2010, 13 years ago, and it was first announced as a PC port. Fans were a bit skeptical, but mostly excited. So the excitement was real, but so was the uncertainty. If I'm being sort of controversial, it's like Rockstar has always been quite tight-lipped about this game coming to PC. Gamers speculated that it had a lot to do with like the architecture of the original game and the limitations with porting it smoothly. And that's what really got interesting. So Rockstar chose to put the Red Dead Redemption as a remaster instead of a full remake, which was interesting. But on the plus side, it made it kind of more accessible. But on the downside, I would say there was still some things that people were left felt were left in the past, should I say? I mean, Raw. I mean, from what I just said, do you think that's fair? Do you think I think what a lot of gamers were thinking in that sort of space?
Yeah, for sure, man. One thing that's kind of got me with the game, like 14, almost 14 years. I'm kind of adding on
Yeah,
a little bit there, but basically 13, 14 years ago. One thing that's absolutely killing me is the spec requirements. As far as like processors go to run on a PC, it's nothing too crazy. Uh, at most, it requires a i5 8500 or a Ryzen 5 3500X. Those are several generation old processors. Like, it's not new hardware. The odd thing is the fact that it requires a RTX 2070 or a RX 5700 XT to get higher end, high FPS. I'm assuming this is going to be maxing out settings. I'm hoping that this is going to be with maxed out settings
yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be
because the
for the
2070 is like a different light year compared to when this game first came out. The technological advancements that we've had between the PlayStation 3 hardware, the Xbox 360 hardware, going up all the way to a RTX 2070, man, that is insane. Like those are nowhere even close to comparable, you know?
Yeah, I think though with the I'm gonna sorry to interject here, but I think like you said, I mean what you're saying is correct, but I'm thinking one of the biggest aspects that people were looking forward to was the actual graphical overall itself.
Yeah,
But like you said, the from what I'm seeing, the results have been kind of mixed. There's definitely been improvements in like sort of textures, shadows, and overall visual quality. But this isn't the PC powerhouse of Red Dead Redemption that people were hoping for. So
right.
that's kind of I see what you're saying with the 2070, right? It's essentially the same game with enhancements that made it feel like a late era Xbox 360 title rather than a modern PC experience. I get exactly what you're saying, Raw, and especially like noticeable is in the lack of higher frame rates and the cutting edge visuals like ray
Right.
tracing, which might feel like missed opportunities. That's where I would think the 2070 and stuff like that would come in. But they're not capable of ray tracing, right? The 2070, I don't think it is.
Yeah,
It's like
that's when it
it's
was
higher.
implemented. The
Yeah,
RTX series, the 20 series was the first one to implement ray tracing cores.
right. I stand corrected. I thought it was a little bit further on, but cool. I stand corrected. But I feel like that being said, for anyone who just wants to experience the story and the gameplay, it still holds up well in terms of atmosphere. Like,
Right.
so I wouldn't care too much about the graphics and stuff like that. But I know there are people out there that do like see that as a massive draw to playing these games because you'd expect that, wouldn't you? A game that released in 2010, you would expect a decent graphics overall. What about the so I've not played it, so I'm kind of going off from what I've researched in terms of controls and gameplay experience. And for this game being so old and adapting to PC controls, it must be crucial. And Rockstar did make an effort here, apparently. The keyboard and mouse integration is apparently solid, and you can definitely feel the difference, especially in the aiming mechanics and responsiveness. And I think that's well, I tell you now, watching Raw playing what do you call it, Undead Nightmare. I'm assuming you were playing on controller, right?
Yeah, I was playing on the original PlayStation 3 hardware.
Yeah, there you go. So like, I mean, I for one cannot play a game where you have to aim like and have quick reactions using a controller,
It's
a mouse and
rough.
keyboard.
It's
Yeah,
rough.
mate. I mean, I saw you playing it and I was like, is this just Raw being Raw or is he playing a controller? But yeah, no, I mean, like for me, the mouse and keyboard is key, and I'm quite glad they've implemented that, especially in the aiming mechanics and the responsiveness. But it's still the general feel of the game designed with controls with consoles in mind. So some of the input lag and animations might feel a bit clunky, even by today's standards. So I mean, what do you take from that, Rod? Do you think? I mean, do you think that sounds quite accurate, or I don't know? Like the pair of us haven't played it, but I'm just going from what I've seen.
I mean, yeah, I would hope so. Like they've had again over a decade to make this thing happen. This
Yeah,
was
yeah,
not
I know.
designed for like brand new modern hardware. There's no reason that it shouldn't have been as quality of a port as it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not just hating on this thing.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done a little bit more. My major gripe, although this is a great port, it's old. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's $50. Like that is my biggest thing. They knew what they were doing. We've been begging for Undead Nightmare Part 2. They teased something up and coming, and then of course right now one of the lead promoting values is Undead Nightmare DLC just in time. They drop it on Halloween. Like
That's
this,
convenient.
yeah, there was no mistake in that. They knew exactly what they were doing the entire time, man. That's my issue. Is a $50 14-year-old game, and the way that they just did that, I don't necessarily agree with. I will be picking this game up, but not for $50. When it drops down to a more reasonable 10, maybe $15, I'll be picking it
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Can I talk about sorry, can I talk about like in terms of the game itself, like additions and limitations? So you'd expect it with it being a remaster, you would expect some tweaks here and there. Like we talked about graphics and stuff like that, but the real question is, does it come with any new features that make the port worth it for veteran players, especially paying 50 quid for it? And I would say yes and no. There are small additions here and there, like the ability to skip travel more quickly. And there's a few, like I've already said, a few graphical tweaks. But what's really missing is any kind of true multiplayer mode. Like fans of Red Dead Redemption Online experience won't find anything in this version,
Wait, hold on.
apparently.
I legit didn't know that. That's not a thing.
No.
There's just
So
no online, period.
no online mode is a big blow considering that Red Dead is so beloved in the Red Dead 2 universe. This is basically you
Wow.
get what you see, single player port. There you go. That's why I
Yeah,
raised that.
I legit didn't know that, bro. That's brand new news to me. That's crazy.
$50 for no multiplayer as well.
I mean, granted, the multiplayer in that was it was lackluster at best. There really wasn't
Yeah.
anything to do but interact with people. But I mean, why take that out though? I
Uh-huh.
whatever.
But on a more positive side, we'll talk about the sort of community reception and modding potential. We all love a bit of modding, don't we? Don't we, guys? So, um, the community reaction, you've got some fans that are thrilled that they can finally play this classic game on their PCs, but others who were hoping for more are a bit frustrated with, like I've already touched on, Rockstar's pricing. It's to me, it's clear cash grab. But yeah, and some gamers are already discussing modding possibilities like graphical improvements and potential gameplay tweaks. The PC community, we all know, is known for breathing new life into older games. So, who knows? We might eventually get the definitive Red Dead Redemption experience through mods. We might even get the multiplayer through mods. I don't know. But in a nutshell, I think, especially like Raw touched on for the pricing and value for money, I'm not going to go near it until it's on sale, if anything.
Right.
Especially for a 13-year-old game, I don't see paying that money. And then, I mean, why? If you wanted to, why would you not just play Red Dead 2 when you've got everything? Do you know what I mean? Why would you not just go to that? I mean, who can knock Red Dead 2, one of the best games that's been ever made, like in my opinion, and it's already a PC port. You're going back, and a lot of the features in Red Dead 2 aren't in Red Dead 1. So you're going to have the jank, you're going to have little things that you couldn't do in Red Dead 2. You're just like, I just want to play Red
Well,
Dead 2.
on that note,
Do
to
you,
interject real quick, the day that this game dropped, there were actually multiple mods that dropped on Nexus. A couple of them, one of them
right?
being an actual real graphics overhaul that truly boosts the game up to a whole different level, and another one, survival and other mechanics that were added in Red Dead Redemption 2 have already been ported into Red Dead Redemption 1.
There you go. Mods to the rescue already.
Like day one, bro, that is crazy.
Yeah,
But
madness. But I
I
don't know.
gotta love the modders, man. Gotta love the modding community.
what do you make of it, chat? What do you make of what we've just discussed? Is Red Dead Redemption 1 on your list? Are you going to play it, or are you going to just stick with Red Dead 2 if you've been playing Red Dead 2? Because for me personally, I don't see the big attraction. I mean, it's more of it'd be more nostalgic for anything. But I mean, if I was to go and play that sort of Arthur Morgan experience where you're the sort of the lovable rogue, I would always go to Red Dead 2 for it being more polished and obviously a later game in the series.
I
But
mean, it
I
may
get
be
that.
a bit of nostalgia for me, but I do love Red Dead
Yeah,
Redemption. That original game, I do love that game. Undead Nightmare was freaking awesome. There's a reason people have been begging for Undead Nightmare Part 2 for so long. It was a really solid game, though. Like, even the base game, it was really solid. As you
hmm
said, they definitely stepped their game up in Red Dead Redemption 2, but this gave them such a solid foundation to build off of.
I think it's more nostalgia than anything, like you said. But
Maybe.
I mean, it's each to their own. Each to their own. If people want to buy it, it's certainly not for that price tag. But no,
Yeah, yeah. I'm uh unless you've got anything else you want to add, chat seems to be on the same wavelength as us, saying that it's crazy right now. Hal said that he'd like to get Red Dead 1 for nostalgia fix, but I'm not gonna pay more than 10 for it. Yeah, we're all on the same
yeah,
page, it seems.
yeah.
In the same vein as, I don't want to say half baked, but Horizon Zero Dawn just got a remaster release as well that just came out today, I believe. Uh, Horizon Zero Dawn $10 upgrade, and it's just graphical enhancements. That's it. So instead of working on some more games, working on some new stuff, we are getting yet another remaster. No remake, no crazy fixes, no nothing, just a little bit of a texture pack. And the biggest issue with this, people are upset right now, is sitting at mixed reviews on Steam. It adds an additional 30 gigabytes to the file size, which puts it well over 100 gigabytes, falling in with typical modern gaming, unfortunately. Um, the $10 asking price for nothing more than a skin pack, and in addition to that, the PlayStation Network sign-in requirement is crazy. Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm sure everyone in here knows what that is, but just it's a single player, completely offline role-playing game that you have to sign in using a PlayStation Network account to access on PC. Like, why are why do this? Why are so many companies taking this path now? And every time it's met with nothing but backlash and negativity, you know? Like, why continue to do this? There's no point in that.
I genuinely can't contribute to this because I've got no interest in this game at all. I've never played it, so you're on your own with this one, mate. I have no idea.
I mean, that's basically, I don't have too much to kind of ramble on about this. Libra the Hermit, good to see you this morning, bro. We were just talking about modders. Nice to see you in here. Uh,
What's up, Hermit?
Hal also saying that the Horizon franchise wasn't really for him, not into the open world Ubisoft style exploration. I get it. Horizon had a very compelling story. The first one did. The second one kind of went, yeah, that was a whole different beast. But Horizon Zero Dawn was really compelling to me. Maybe
Actually,
it's because I played
actually,
through it with my wife. Well, go ahead.
I've got, sorry, mate. I am. There is something I can contribute to this.
Right.
Is Horizon Zero Dawn you play as the female protagonist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did see some controversy on Twitter with them changing her character model, and like giving her a bigger chin and making her look more manly.
Wait,
I
what?
mean,
Is that
yeah,
actually
there
a...
was yeah, I saw something like that. I don't know if it's true, but I saw the old DEI sneaking in, and apparently that she was wanting to suffer from the old the chin, the extended chin, and more manly features, and it caused a lot of people to get annoyed. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I think that's that's the only input I've got on the Horizon Zero Dawn, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
Oh, going into Forbidden West. So Horizon Zero Dawn was the first one. Horizon Forbidden West was the second one. It takes place a little bit of time after the first one. So as she
Yeah, that she
matured, they're making
she
Aloy ugly in Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster. Oh my God.
yeah
They're...
she got the
Oh
chin treatment
no.
as most games that are infected do. She got the chin treatment.
I didn't even know about this, bro. That is
It's
crazy.
sorry. the chin and jaw treatment. That's what they call it.
Dear Lord. Y-
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? Moving on.
We
We're
move
just gonna
on.
go ahead and skip on from this one. There's a lot to say there, but I mean, kind of in the same vein. No, we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, we'll go back. Yeah, we'll leave that till later.
Uh, you want to jump into Dragon Age or you want to cover Stalker? I know you're probably itching for some Stalker.
I'm itching for Stalker 2.
Let's get
And
into it.
right, what I've got here, guys, something that's really interesting, really, really interesting, and particularly because it's kind of what we were talking about. It relates to like modern teams, like a la Fallout London, or just modders in general, enhancing games and stuff like that, under restraints. From like for example, the Fallout London team when the Fallout Next Gen update dropped. It caused a lot of hassle and stuff like that. But I want to touch on something a bit more serious in terms of Stalker 2. So I found this article on Stalker 2. We're all excited for Stalker 2, right? I found this article on basically how the development team have been coping during the Ukraine-Russia war that's happening at the moment. And yeah, I'm just gonna run through it and break it down and stuff like that, 'cause I found it quite fascinating and just like the dedication that they have towards making the game itself. So this is a BBC article that I'll be breaking down, and it's titled "Stalker 2. We want to show Ukraine can still make great games," which is great. Um, and it's got a quote straight away. I would say that maybe half of our studio is currently working under the constant threat of being killed. Says, and I don't want to butcher these names as well because some of the pronunciations are a bit like difficult for me with my accent, as you probably guess. Right? So this is Egevny Kulik, which I don't think I butchered. That's not too bad. So Egevny is a technical producer on Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, and everybody knows an up-and-coming video game developed by the Kiev-based developer GSC Games World. And it's a title fans of the original, released in 2007, I've been waiting for some time. Excuse me. But it might not have happened at all due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, right? So BBC Newsbeat spoke to Egevny who about how Stalker 2's developer, should I say, kept going, losing colleagues to the war, and why the studio feels it's so important for them to complete the game. Which it just puts a whole new like sort of like realization to what these guys are having to do, like to create a video game. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. But yeah, just for a bit of background, the Chernobyl power plant was the site of the world's worst ever nuclear accident in 1986, where the country was under the control of the Soviet Union. There was an explosion at the nuclear power plant 90 miles from the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. At least 31 people were killed in the immediate aftermath, and the blast created like a fire that burned for 10 days, sending a plume of radioactive smoke across Europe. A 30-mile exclusion zone was set up around the nuclear reactor to keep people out, although the Ukrainian government had begun to admit tourists into the area before the Russian invasion. Okay, so again, the original Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl was set on an alternative timeline where a second nuclear disaster had struck, creating an array of mutant creatures and other unnatural phenomena. We all know the score. I think I've touched on it in a previous podcast about the plot and stuff. But players took the active role, tasked with exploring the post-apocalyptic setting and navigating the various like sort of factions fighting for control of the wasteland or the zone. The decision to set the game at the site was controversial. One developer said the blood was still warm and it flowed in our veins even 30 years later. Excuse me. But the game was like a massive hit, and Stalker 2 was finally announced in 2010. Such a long time ago. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that was when Red Dead Redemption released, with the intention to build on the original survival gameplay style. And in 1918, sorry, 1918, that's a long,
Dear Lord.
2018, I should say, GSC Games World announced that it was working towards an April 2022 release. But just 2 months before that arrived, Russian troops and planes began to cross the border with Ukraine, and the war had begun. So, I mean, to me, that's fascinating as anything. I'm going to continue here. Stalker 2 is now due to come out on PC and Xbox in November this year, and a documentary about the making of the game was released this week, which I'll touch on later. It's going to be like I'm going to link it later on, guys. So it's definitely worth a watch. It's fascinating. It shows members of the development team talking about the dawning realization that Russia was about to invade. Excuse me, sorry, the old voice is a bit raspy still. Lead developer Maria, right? I'm going to butcher this one. Maria Grozhnich, I think that's okay, right? Remembers commissioning buses to wait outside the company's offices in Kiev, ready to transport their employees and families to the Ukraine's western border. Ultimately, just over 180 made the journey when the invasion began, with 139 choosing to stay behind to help the war effort. I mean, imagine that as devs. Jesus, like to complete the game. Some
Yeah.
some had joined the military, whilst others had continued to work on Stalker 2 in between their duties. So those who evacuated eventually set up a second studio in Prague, in the Czech Republic, rebuilding motion capture and audio studios from scratch. For scratch, imagine that, man. The dedication that just blows me away.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It also features members of the team who stayed in Ukraine talking about fighting for their country while continuing to work on their game. There's a quote here: "We load our weapons with one hand and make the game with our other," says one. I mean, how is that for realization? It's crazy. And speaking to the Newsbeat guys during the Gamescom Expo in Cologne, Germany, Evelny tells Newsbeat much of Stalkers 2's larger Russian fan base was unsupportive during the early days of the war. After the conflict broke out, the game's subtitle was altered to Heart of Chernobyl to reflect the Ukrainian spelling of the name. So Russian voiceovers and subtitles have also been removed, and GSC has refused to relate the game in Russia. The developers have blamed Ukraine's opponent for regular attempts to hack its servers as well. Just imagine like the chaos and like hassle they have just to develop a video game. Do you know what I mean? It's mind blowing. There's another quote here. We tried to get some support from these people, says Evelny, but instead we received a lot of negativity, so we decided to join up with the sanctions, let's say. That's what it says. Ukraine has tried to keep the culture events going during wartime. It won Eurovision in 2022, and its largest music festival made a comeback this summer as well. So Evelny says the same applies to Stalker 2, and we would like to remind the world that Ukraine is capable of doing great games once again. He said, games are part of the culture as well, just like music, movies, books, art, and so on. So yeah, it's important work to the world. It also says the studio also owes its staff who's upended their lives to move or have joined the military to see their work through. And also the studio also wants to honour friends and colleagues who have actually died, such as Volodymyr Yesov, a developer who was killed while defending the Bakhmut from Russian troops. All those people really worked hard, excuse me, to make this happen, and we should really push forward to make this happen and appreciate their effort, says Yelny, to make this happen in the memory of these people. Man, see, just reading that, it's incredible, isn't it? It's just like
I want to
seeing what
support
these
them.
guys.
I have never
Yeah,
wanted to support a game company this bad in my life. Like I got goosebumps during part of there, bro.
I told you, man. I told you it's going to be pretty epic.
This is incredible. Like, we've talked multiple times about Stalker 2 and like the dev team behind it, the kind of passion that they have. But if you didn't believe us before that this was going to be made by some passionate developers that actually care about what they're doing, just look at this article. You know, look at what these people are going through on a day-to-day basis. They're fighting just to try to stay alive right now. Like they have people dying around them, the war raging on around them, and yet they're dedicated to making this game. And I guarantee this is probably going to be one of... Stalker isn't necessarily known for like heart-wrenching moments, but I guarantee there's going to be some stuff in there that kind of reflect and have some correlation to what's happening in the real world around them on a day-to-day basis, you know?
And just sorry to butt in there, Rob, but also I've mentioned it, I touched on it during that little article that there's actually a 1 hour documentary of what I just talked about basically, and it's featuring the development. It talks about the development team. It like features how they've coped during the war and stuff like that. I'm going to drop that in the general section for anybody interested. So I'm going to tag everyone, and I'm going to drop that now for anybody who wants to have a watch, because for me it's fascinating, having a military background as well as Raw having a military background. Just
Right.
seeing what these devs have been put through. They've been put through the ringer. Like, they've been moving to different studios, having to do motion capture from scratch, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to drop that now. In the general chat for everyone to see. It's called War Game: The Making of Stalker, an official film. Excuse me, sorry, voice is still raspy as hell. Yeah, but definitely check that out, because I told Rob it was going to be like a pretty fascinating article. I might have surprised them, because yeah, it was quite touching, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, between these guys, it's crazy that they mentioned the Czech Republic. They were, yeah. Anyway, these guys and Warhorse Studios, man. I guarantee we're gonna have two of the best games of the last decade coming out between them and Warhorse. But again, just what they're going through right now, and the fact that they're still getting up here and making these games and making them so detailed. And before they even announced any of this, they were still focused on the game. All the news, all the coverage, everything before this article has just been about how good the game's going to be, about how detailed the world is, how they're not using AI to generate any of these locations. They're not copy and pasting buildings. They're using handcrafted environments down to every single room of every single building. And this is going to be one of the larger maps in the gaming space, And having all this going on in the background is just crazy. Like, I know I talked before, I think it may have even been on the last RawCast, that I was somewhat skeptical, and I didn't know that if I didn't know if I wanted to buy like the $110 version of the game with all the season pass. But even if the game isn't fully what I'm hoping and expecting it to be, I think I'm still gonna do that just to show these guys the support.
Yeah, can we get W's in the chat for the Stalker 2 dev team?
Yeah, round of applause for sure. I'm giving them one of those big W's in the chat for the Stalker team. Patty, good to see you this morning. Hal, always a pleasure. Hal said wild times that we're living in, not gonna lie. Yeah, to say the absolute least. Very wild times. That kind of threw me off, bro. I don't even know where to go from here. Like, I wasn't expecting all that.
Yeah, well, only the best from True Blue. I carry this podcast, as you know.
Right.
No, on a serious note though, no, it was I found it a very kind of moving article, and I felt like it was worth getting it out there to show the appreciation, because obviously we talked about the great dedication that modern teams have, a la Fallout London, a la you name it, all the guys that are working on like Sky Oblivion and sort of things like that. But the reality sort of kicks in when you've got dev teams that are in sort of hostile environments and having to move, and their families are enlisting to the military and all sorts of stuff. And it just goes to show, it's like, look at that. That's like true dedication. And at the end of the day, it's only to produce, I might not say only, but it's only to produce a video game, and it's for the entertainment of other people. But they're dedicated to do it, and it just shows you how much they care about it, and it's remarkable. At the end of the day, it's incredible, and like
Yeah,
I said before, hats off to them.
yeah, for sure. Another round of applause. I'm gonna give them another one. They deserve it, man. What a world we live in. Um, dear Lord, my bad, guys. Do you have anything else to add to this section, bro? Like, is there anything else specifically you wanted to cover?
Uh, from the stalker section itself,
Right.
apart from, I'm really looking forward to the game. Obviously, it drops what,
Yeah.
20th of
Yeah.
November, 20th of November, so next month. Yeah, and well, I mean, if that wasn't a big, like, it wasn't even meant to be a plug to buy the game, but like,
Right.
you want to buy that game straight away just to support the team, don't you? And I encourage everybody. I'm buying it solely because I'm a Stalker fan, but just
Yeah.
reinforced by what I just said. But yeah, I encourage everybody to buy it. And looking at it from what I've seen, like the sort of gameplay and stuff like that, excuse me, I think it's going to be a huge hit. And obviously, Raw, you'll be covering it on the channel intensively, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're definitely gonna be doing some live playthroughs, and then I plan on, if all goes well, because you know how life goes. But I do want to make actual videos on it as well, trying to make some like lore style videos, rankings, all types of coverage on it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll be looking forward to them, but I'll be delving into it myself as well. I'll be playing extensively and getting into the zone, getting into the that's like no pun intended, but yeah, getting into the zone, stalking and modding my weapons, scavenging, doing all the good stuff. But yeah, really looking forward to it.
It looks incredible too for you. Anybody in here that potentially has not seen this, I got it thrown up on screen on the stream right now. The game looks incredible. Like the past, well, you said they announced it back in 2010, so the past like
2010.
13, 14 years of development can definitely be seen here. This is not one of those games where it's you look at it like, you guys worked on this for just a few years. Like, no, this thing has been truly, truly worked on, truly. Oh, hold on. Oh, wow. While you're watching this video, Ukrainian people are dying from Russian attacks. Stop it. Dear Lord. Wasn't expecting that either. Yeah, bro,
Yeah,
I'm buying the game. I'm buying this
yeah.
game.
I think anyone that's like kind of got an interest in the post-apocalyptic stuff or the survival element or that, it's a dead on cert. It has to be on your list.
For sure. Good to see you, AB. Happy Halloween to you as well. Happy Halloween, everybody. I forgot you guys are living in the past. It's already November for me.
Right. Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone.
Moving on from that though, Stalker 2, we're gonna be covering the crap out of that game. But one thing I've never really got into, but I know a lot of people absolutely love Dragon Age. I
Uh-oh.
know, I know that the older games have a whole lot of love, but this new one, just from the cover photo that I've seen, it looks it looks like a Borderlands 3 style cover photo. It doesn't look anything like what I've seen from the games from the past, but I know you have a bit more history with them than I do. You want to delve into some of the nonsense going on with that?
So, I mean, when you say history, I played them ages ago, and I don't really remember much of them, but I remember them being good games, good RPGs, good characters, good storytelling. And I remember playing, I think it was Dragon Age Origins back on actual Origin itself, that the EA or whatever it was called, the before it went to EA, the what do you call it, the launcher. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I played the Dragon Age Origins and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed it. However, this new game, and I'm looking at it now. I've not played it, but I've watched bits and bobs on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I'm looking at it now, and well, interestingly, this is very interesting actually. I'm looking at the Steam page, and the reviews were mixed, but now mostly positive. Now, the reason I bring that up is because a lot of the reviews on Steam mentioned the DEI. Okay,
Of
um,
course.
and when I was looking at these reviews, I noticed that they were pretty heavy. Like people were not happy with the state of the game and how it was being pushed in terms of DEI and things that were included in it. But a lot of these comments, a lot of these reviews are now, from what I see, are not there. So make that of what you will. They're not there. So it was mixed at a point, and now it is mostly positive. Right, but what I will say is I watched one clip, and Raw, we talked about this off stream, right? But I watched one clip. Now again, chat, make of it what you will, right? But this is a clip that I watched, and it was a group of characters, main protagonists in there as well. Obviously, your character, and he misgendered someone in a conversation, right? And that person got really offended and explained explained to them their gender and where they came from, etc., etc. And the person and the main protagonist apologized by doing 10 push-ups. I am not lying. That is what happened in that clip that I watched. Now, I checked, double checked, triple checked, make sure this was like legit, and it was. Now, guys, I mean, what do you make of it? What do you make of that? It's like, is this necessary in a game?
Is it
I
necessary
mean,
in
I mean,
general? Like doing
is it necessary in
push-ups for
general?
someone is kind of like that's an act of
The
submission, you know? Like when you're in the military and one of the higher ranking,
yeah,
you know, somebody, one of your leaders gets upset with you, you did something wrong, and they make you drop down, give them push-ups, right? And they just, you
it was.
accidentally miss. Oh my
It,
God, bro.
listen. It was. They go on to explain. It's like the person that's doing the push-ups. They're like, well, why are you doing 10 push-ups? And they're like, oh, but it's something we learned in our guild where if you misgendered someone or spoke to them without giving, yeah, it was easier to do 10 push-ups than giving them a full-pledged apology. And I'm just like, are you serious? Is
Oh
this
dear
real?
Lord.
Yeah,
Why
so
did
that
this need
that
to
is
be in the game? Why did
right.
that need to be there?
And another thing that I will touch on as well, right? So in the character creation, right? There's a feature in character creation to give yourself top scars and like surgery scars. So we're talking if you're transgendering from male to female or whatever you want to call it, right? So it gives you the option to have scars. So like say if you wanted to like add breasts or you want breasts taken away, you get the scars underneath the breasts, right? So it gives you that option. Now
Dear
this
Lord.
world, no, listen, no, I'm not finished yet, right? So this world, remember, has magic, mages, right? So why is there a need to go through a surgical procedure where some mage can't do that? Or, you know, it just seems like this sort of thing is being pushed, and you're getting it smashed into your face. It's like we need to show this sort of the transgender um, element that we need to show that, whereas it's completely out of touch of the Dragon Age universe itself. I mean, like I said, it's a magical universe where mages can do this and that and the next thing, healing, but yet you get top scars in the character creation. Can someone explain that to me, please? Because that doesn't make sense. I
Gotta
mean,
be all
you can
inclusive now, man. Like,
right, can I just reiterate? You can be whatever you want to be. I have no problem. We've already touched this. You can be whatever you want to be, right? That's the next thing in terms of your gender, right? But when it's been pushed like this, it
yeah,
just gets a bit sickening, right? It's just a bit. It's just. I'm sorry to not talk about the game itself. The game itself, apparently, I'm looking at it now. Apparently it's badly optimized as well. So a lot of the negative votes are kind of tailored towards that. But yeah, the game itself isn't very good. It's not solid. It's not like the Dragon Age of. A lot of people are saying it's not. It's not like the Dragon Age of old. And also, I forgot to mention this as well. It seems like some of the reviews have been. How can I put it? They've been botted in terms of. It's used the same phrase in a lot of the reviews. A return to form. That thing has been like, it's like kind of AI'd.
yeah.
And there's lots of people, but that phrase features in all the sort of reviews. A return to form, and I think I've seen it on Twitter. It's been underlined, and someone posted a screenshot and went, "Oh, look at this! This phrase seems to be a recurring theme. Why is that?" It just makes you think, right? It just like these reviews are sort of shelled and botted, which makes me worry a lot. So it seems a lot of the time the general I don't know opinion of people is being dismissed, and it's been sort of casually forced and shelled onto you.
That's what
So
we were
just bear that
talking
in
about
mind.
kind of in the last the Rawcast. Like,
Yeah,
the general consensus, the general gaming landscape is against this kind of stuff. I guess you could say, like, we're not necessarily even against this kind of stuff. It's the fact that it's being forced into everything that we're against. We don't care
yeah,
about this. We want solid games. Like the
yeah.
AB said that was blasphemy when you were talking about the push-up thing, and said, why can't games just be fun and not some virtual signaling BS? Exactly. And
I
Patty,
swear to God, right? Listen, sorry, right? I am not making it up, right? You will be able to find that clip. You will be able to find it somewhere on Twitter or X and stuff like that. In fact, Raw, if you chat for a little bit, I'm gonna try and find it, and I'm gonna link it somewhere, right? So if you could just
yeah.
continue
Uh,
continue for me, please. I'll find
Patty
it.
was saying when your intelligence is 1 and your medicine is 20, talking about the scars. That
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
ridiculous. Um, I mean the game right here too, like the top two, um, this, oh my God, the top two reviews Seems fine so far. Combat is much more intensive. The writing is painful, actually painful. And another one, this is not a review. This is a place you can lay down your grave flowers and funeral sprays to the tombstone once beloved BioWare. Uh, thank you for what you have done, and may your legacy will be. Thank you for what you done, and may your legacy will be never forgotten. Now you are truly may rest in peace. I get what they were trying to say. This is not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
company that they once knew, and unfortunately, that's the gaming landscape now, man. That's what sucks. That's why these companies like the devs behind Stalker, devs behind Kingdom Come Deliverance, like that's why they're standout now. Where at one point they would have been like just really solid companies still. Now it's like they're the outliers. They're the ones that still are listening to their people, that are still putting love and care into the games that they're making. And most of the industry is going with this DEI, just nonsense. Patty said the fact there's a cutscene that is only a quote unquote take that bigots message is ridiculous. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, yeah.
There's a
So
lengthy
I found
cutscene to apologize for misgendering someone. It's too much inclusion. It's the same with movies too. Yeah,
So I found the like I'm gonna put it's a YouTuber, Melanie Mac. I don't know if anybody's aware of Melanie Mac. I mean like I'm not a massive fan or anything like that. I'm aware of her, but she basically breaks down that scene. I'm gonna post it to everyone in the general chat just so. But I think she nails it. She gives it a pretty accurate breakdown of what's going on. So I'll just post it just for everyone to see. But yeah, she talks about um it's called the cringiest scene in Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and misgendered gay crap. That's what it's called. So yeah, she's got an opinion. Yeah, that's definitely worth a watch. But it essentially breaks down that whole scene and just shows you what's going on. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. It's like, look, I just want to play games. I just want to
yeah.
play a game, but it's not got this like agenda narrative pushing
Have a good
nonsense.
day,
Just
Pumpkin.
give me a good
Love
game.
you.
Yeah, it's starting to get a bit tiresome now. I mean,
Yeah, for
chat, give
sure.
me give me a shout. Let me know what you think about what I've just talked about. If you're against it, let me know. I mean, like me and Raw, open minded. We'll happily converse about it. Not a problem.
From what we've been seeing so far, they're definitely on the same page as us. Like, I'm not gonna go as far as what the other YouTuber was saying. I don't have experience with the games in general, but from what I've
Yeah,
seen and from what I see from these reviews and what people have talked about the games kind of devolving into, like going from actually story-based, heavily role-playing centric games into something that's just pushing. It seems like it's pushing certain agendas. Uh, this is something I can't get behind personally. Like, this is not gonna be for me. I know that for sure. I hate to see this. Like, it, it's another example of a company just being taken over by these very
fanatics, activists,
yes,
activists.
thank you. That's the word. They're being taken over and just turned into something that people could have never imagined them being. Is crazy.
And it's sad because a lot of people are you can see a lot of developers have been coming out and like they've been anonymously coming out and saying, yeah, there is a problem in the gaming industry, there is a problem in this company. Do you know? They've been
Yeah,
saying that a lot of the time they've been too scared to speak because they've been the fear of being pulled in front of HR or losing their
right.
jobs in general. Do you know what I mean? And it's sad. It's a sad thing because I think I touched on it in the last cast because a lot of talented devs are getting are losing their jobs and effectively companies like it's BioWare, right, that
Right,
does Dragon
right.
Age. They're going down the toilet,
And
and I think
EA.
it's clear to see. Yeah, well, a lot of them are going down the toilet. CD Project Red, Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Oh man,
man.
I mean, there's so many that seem to be falling foul to it, and the people that are in charge have got their claws in, and it's very difficult for people to speak their mind
It's
without
like
being
AB was just
sort of
saying,
vilified.
people in the game are getting shot, tortured, burned, enslaved, and it's horrible things, but God forbid they misgender you.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
And he also followed that up with, I'm tired of it, but do yourself a favor and ignore it. Not worth the time or energy. I think you're right. And unless
Can
you
you,
have any, or go ahead.
I was going to say, can you imagine if I got offended every time you called me Irish?
Hey, top of the morning to you, blue boy.
See what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Oh my god, he's called me Irish. I demand 10 press ups.
There's a whole thing. Actually, never mind. Different topic, different time. Never mind.
Go on.
There's multiple aspects with the world that are going that direction, though. It's absolutely insane. Um, yeah. Unless anybody has anything to add to this, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Stay tuned after this podcast is over. Within the next several minutes, I believe, God willing, like knock on wood, whatever you gotta do. I think I got Undead Nightmare 2 stable enough for us to stream. I played it for almost an hour straight last night and did not get a single crash after I got into the INI files and started tweaking some stuff. I think it may be playable on stream now. In addition to that, after today's typical game stream, Blue, if you can send us that link to the 2 hour long thing for Stalker 2 development that you were talking about, that's showcasing.
It's in general chat.
It is in general chat already. Okay.
Yeah. The documentary, right?
Right. Discord, the same way that we did movie night last night. I'm gonna do that again today after the game stream ends. I'm gonna be streaming that documentary. If you guys are interested in that, hop in the Discord. If you need the link, please let us know. You guys know how to get a hold of me. We're on YouTube. It's the same on every channel. But no, thank you guys. Thank you, Hal. Thank you, AB. Thank you, Patty, to everybody that contributed to the discussion today. Good to see you, Steady Rolling Beat. If you guys are still in here, I appreciate you stopping by. Anybody else that has not said anything, just lurking, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to what we had to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys for 1,000 subs. Thank you for being here with us, and we will see you again in the next RawCast. You got anything to say? My bad.
Oh my god, he doesn't even he doesn't even tell me. He doesn't even introduce me after carrying this podcast. My goodness.
Did I really? No, I introduced. That's Blue Boy.
Oh, you know, no. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we've still introduced Blue's Clues as well. That's something in it, right? But no. On a serious note, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for the inputs. I can't see it. I've not got the chat open or anything like that. I'm just doing this off the cuff because I'm a professional. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm top dog. I'm free dog. But yeah, no. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment, all the good stuff. Peace.
Later, everybody. Blue's Clues will be in the next one. He already gave them clues on how to fix it this time, but we got to make it a proper sequence next time.
I don't even know what it is, but I'm going with it. I'll run with it.
All right, later.